Have you ever wondered why some of your rights apply to actions by the government, but not necessarily to private individuals or organizations? It is a fundamental distinction in constitutional law, yet sometimes the lines can blur. Significant entanglement defines state action when the conduct of a private actor becomes so intertwined with government activity that it is effectively considered an action by the state itself. This concept is essential because many of our constitutional protections, particularly those in the 14th Amendment, are designed to safeguard individuals from government overreach, not from purely private conduct. The core reason for the significant entanglement doctrine lies in ensuring that constitutional guarantees remain meaningful. If governments could simply delegate their functions to private entities and thereby escape constitutional scrutiny, then our rights would be easily circumvented. Courts analyze the nature of the relationship to see if the government has, through its involvement, put its own weight, power, and prestige behind a private actor's decision. This means looking for a symbiotic relationship or a close nexus between the government and the private actor. For instance, if a private entity performs a function traditionally and exclusively reserved to the state, such as running an election or operating a town, its actions might be considered state action. Similarly, if the government compels, encourages, or is heavily involved in the private decision-making, it can lead to a finding of significant entanglement. Consider cases where a private organization operating public facilities, like parks or schools, discriminates. The courts must determine if the government's role in funding, regulating, or permitting the private operation is so pervasive that the private discrimination effectively becomes state-sanctioned discrimination. This judicial scrutiny helps prevent indirectly sanctioned constitutional violations. This is why the analysis often centers on details like government funding, extensive government regulation, government appointments to a private entity's board, or the government's direct involvement in the private entity's specific actions. It is not about minor cooperation, but about such a deep integration that the private entity becomes an instrument or agent of the state for constitutional purposes. Understanding significant entanglement empowers us to recognize when constitutional rights might apply beyond direct government agencies. It ensures that the spirit of our constitutional protections against discriminatory or rights violating state action remains robust, even when the government's hand is not immediately visible.